Hello everyone, this is Rebecca from Papeterie Schwa, and welcome to Tag-Along Tuesday. You'll notice that I changed the name back. I just included tags. I didn't need to put it in the title. That was an executive decision that I made. So Tag-Along Tuesday it is. So what we have in front of us today, or what I have in front of me today, is a gift bag. And I was going through some stuff that I had just hidden away when I was doing some cleaning in my craft room back in the summer, and I had just kind of tucked this little bag up under my desk, and then bought something, set it in front of it, and anyway, it kind of got lost. So this weekend, I went through some stuff that I had bought at thrift stores recently and decided what I wanted to keep and what I didn't and what was going to work, what wasn't. Anyway, this one bag was full of gift bags and wrapping paper. And so I looked in, I saw this bag, and then I saw this bag, and obviously they're a matching set. So I thought, you know what, I want to do something with those. So my plan is, out of this one, I'm going to make a journal cover. And it's the same on both sides. They're new, they've never been used. So this one I'm going to set to the side, because that's what it's going to be. But out of this one, to go with that journal, I'm going to make some tags out of this smaller bag. And I've got some scrap coffee dyed paper that I did like 2 years ago, just pieces, that I'm going to back it with. So what we're going to be doing today is taking a gift bag and disassembling it and turning it into something that we can create something else out of. And in this case it's going to be tags, but there might also be some journaling cards, just depending on how it gets cut up. But the first thing that I want to do is try to fish that right back through. Well, it's not going to work because obviously that's what it was made for, and I don't want those little metal things on there anyway. So I'm going to cut those off right behind where they're attached, and then I can clean up the ends later. So I want to keep these for later use, so I'm going to put them over to the side. I like that it has these eyelets here, but the next thing that you want to do is, I have a light that's kind of blinking a little bit. I don't think it's plugged in very well, so let me just check my plug real quick. Okay. Yeah, I had it plugged on the bottom and it was a little loose, kept trying to fall out. So what you want to do is just put in a little something that'll just pop that glue. Most of the time it'll be dry, and it shouldn't rip the paper terribly bad. You're not really going to be using this part, but if you don't have a tear to start with, then you know, you have more of the bag that you can save. Now, you want to open it up all the way and find the seam where it's put together. Well, at any rate, we're going to cut it right there anyway. So we're going to come right up this fold line, and we're going to cut that. And then we have one continuous piece. Now what I'm going to do is cut these little side pieces out, and if I don't use them in this tag project, I'll keep them for the journal cover project because the pattern is the same. One good thing, here it is. It was so well hidden I couldn't see it. One good thing about using gift bags like this is that, especially if you're a beginner or you have a hard time putting designs and themes together, a gift bag can give you a theme, and then you just fill it up with things that go with that theme, and you don't have to try to come up with something. It's kind of there for you. And that was something that I found that worked well for me when I was first starting, because it let me get on with the making of something instead of trying to figure out the design of it when I wasn't 100% comfortable designing, figuring out how I wanted a cover to be, or this, that, the other. So I like using gift bags to make different pieces of ephemera, because it takes the guesswork out of how am I going to use this, what am I going to use it for, and that sort of thing. So anyway, you just keep cutting down until you have these two sides. Now, the thing that I want to figure out is, I have these holes already, and I would be kind of foolish to not utilize them if I'm going to make a tag and I already have, a tie and all that. I'll pull that out. So really what I need to do is figure out, okay, how big do I want my tag to be? What's going to be in, using this as a center point, what's going to be in that line? And then how do I want to utilize the whole piece? Am I going to have a little strip left over that I want to use maybe somewhere else? So that's kind of the first thing. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this ruler and a pencil, and I'm just going to kind of find the middle. Actually, let me do it this way. I'm going to find the middle between these two holes, and look, they're right at 4 inches. You basically want to go from the center of the hole here to the center of the hole here. So that looks almost dead on 4 inches. So I'm going to make a mark right there, and I'm going to get my paper cutter and cut it. So I'm going to put this mark right in my cutting line, and I'm not going to worry about if the edges are straight or whatever. It's if this top is straight, then this line I'm about to cut will be straight. I'm also not worried about the words. They don't matter to me where they end up in the tag. So there we go with that part. Now, if we've got 2 inches on this side of the hole, I've got a little bit of crud on here from past projects, and it don't want to slide. So here's our 2-inch mark this way. So if we put our 2-inch mark here in the center of the hole, and make a mark here, and that shows us how much is going to come off, which is barely an inch. So let's let's just look at this. Now that was going to give us a tag of 4 inches wide. But I don't mind, because I've already thought about this one. I'll cut it here and probably cut it here and make it a very tall journal. And it's going to be, I think I measured, because I'm going to use this as part of the inside, so I measured this. And it's just under 6 inches if I remember right. Let's just do, it's, okay, let's just say 5 3/4. So if I'm going in here 5 3/4, or we'll do 5 1/2 because I want a little bit of leeway, and that brings it to here. So if I cut that tag, keep it that size, then it can be a giant tag inside this book and it'll have plenty of room to fit. So I'm not going to worry about it being a little bit bigger than normal. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that. Right at that mark. Now this gives me a little scrap to play with when I go building more projects on this. Now the next thing is what do I want to do? Do I want to have this, this tall? And I don't mind having it that tall, but it does have that fold in it. So now I can iron that out, and when I glue paper on the back I can fix it. So I kind of think that's what I want to do, but I do need to trim it slightly. So I'm going to open up my cutter here, and I'm going to find a length that I'm going to go by this butterfly here. That's 7 1/2. That's still not quite enough. So looks like maybe 7 3/4. We'll put it pretty much right on the fold line that was on the card in the first place. Okay. So I'm going to take this over to the iron. I'm going to press it and get as much of that seam out of it as possible. I'm going to go ahead and cut down the other pieces, and then I'll come back. We'll back it, get all that fixed up, trim the edges, and then see where we go from there. So I will be right back. Okay, I didn't have the iron on very warm, so I didn't get a whole lot of it out. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just finish cutting out the rest of these. So what it's going to end up doing, since they're both just alike, what I might actually do is not do these into tags so that I don't have two exactly alike. I might actually make it into a little booklet or something to go inside. So I'm going to lay that to the side, and we'll concentrate on these two pieces right here. So 2 inches that way equals 4 inches over here. If I can get my ruler to cooperate. I keep trying to push it up under or something, evidently. Okay. Now, this is a project that I can carry on with throughout the coming week or so, or I can do it and completely finish it and show it to you all later. Maybe in the comments whenever you're watching this, just make a comment on, do you want me to show the progress and make this part of a one of the weekly videos, or just do it and then show it off at the end. I'll leave that with you, which you would like to do or like to see. Now let me open this back up, and I made the other one 7 1/4. So we're gonna pull that up here to 7 1/4. There's not much left there, just a tiny bit. Okay, I'm gonna press this one now. Okay. So we can put the cutter away for the minute. And another thing I'm going to do, the top up here has got this little card in it, and because there's an eyelet, I'm not going to try to take it out. But if it didn't have an eyelet, I would take it out. But what I'm going to do is just glue it down to it. Now I will be cutting these corners off, but I want it to be glued down before I do that. So there's that. And then also this piece that you take out of the bottom, it's a little thicker than the bag. It's kind of a cardboard thing. Now this one's super thin, but sometimes they're quite thick, and you can double those up and make some ephemera pieces out of those as well. We must be getting ready to get another storm or something. That wind is really picking up. Here in the, technically the map says that I live in the upstate of South Carolina, but I live nowhere near what is typically the upstate. But I live more in the Midlands, on the west side. But we're supposed to be down to 15 degrees this weekend, I think Saturday night. And I know for some people up north that's normal, but I live where there's palm trees, so it's not quite so normal. So we'll see how everybody fares and how many broken pipes and all that sort of thing there is come the first of next week. Okay, I'm going to press these one more time, and then we're going to put the back on. Okay, I've got me a couple of pages over here that I can put my glue on. Boy, that's going to be close. Might be too close. I mean, I like that raggedy edge though. I really like that raggedy edge. Let's see. No, I don't want that paper. I'm really liking that. But that's just really too close. And I could only have it on one side. But I like how it sticks out just a little bit like that. So I guess it's going to be this one. So that's 4 inches. Get my ruler out here. And I guess I could glue it on first and then tear it. Wouldn't that make a whole lot more sense? Possibly. I like this side better. Okay, here we go. I am going to use this old nasty purple glue stick. I haven't used it up yet. Unfortunately, but that day will come. And I'm going to glue the whole thing on, and then I will dock the corners at the top, and I might round the corners at the bottom. I'm not 100% sure yet exactly how I'll do that. Okay, now I'm going to put just a bead of glue, and if I do dock the corners, let me put a little glue in that corner, fill it up a little bit so that I'll put some glue on here too. So that if I dot the corner, I don't have to worry about anything popping loose. And then across through here and here, and I'm going to fill that in a little bit. Like I said, I don't really trust these glue sticks. I just don't. And I'm going to put a little circle around there because we'll have to poke that little thing back out. Alright. So what I'm going to do now is step over here to the iron and press this down, and then when I come back I'll rip it around and we'll get it in place. Okay, I've got a little wad of glue stuck in this little hole, so I'm gonna that's probably as good as it's gonna get. Okay, now let's move that over there. I want to match this up pretty close. Not bad. I'm going to have to do it this way so I can actually see where the edge is. Now this one I'll tear it a little closer if possible. Yay. And then this one might be a little more difficult because there's not that much underneath. Yeah, that's what I was afraid it would do, is tear crooked. Come here, you. Alright. And I don't have my thumbnail anymore. I had to cut it back because where I had my nails done, I think in a video back in the file I shared what happened with my nails when I had them done at a local nail salon for my birthday, not this past summer, but summer before last, and it didn't go well. And so I lost my nails almost down to the, like this one still hasn't healed completely. This one was the worst one, and it was down into the nail bed. And so I let them grow out, but I got a crack in this one on both sides last week, and I kept cutting it back and sanding it down and putting polish over it, but it didn't work, so I just had to cut it back. Okay. Alright, that's as good as that's going to get right now. Now, what I'm going to, I think I'll just use these right here. I'm just going to poke that hole right through there, and that's just fine. Now, what do I want to use? I mean, I have a punch. I could just punch that. It would be a little thick. Let me try it and see. Now, also, it's curling like this because of the glue is still a little damp. So, when the video's over, I will lay something a little heavy on it. I've got a few books over here, and to press it down, and it'll be nice and flat by in the morning, so that's not a big deal. Okay, which one of these is the biggest? I'm going to try this. I don't know if I'll like it, but I can always go deeper if I need to. No, it's too thick. Well, I did cut it a little bit, but I actually want it bigger. So what I'm going to do is, I know some people cut an angle off of an old bank card. I don't have an old bank card. I got one bank card and it's good for a little while longer anyway. So let me find something to give this a deeper angle so that I make sure I get the other one the same, and I will be right back. Okay. I found a piece of file folder scrap and I cut this angle. It's pretty deep, but a big tag I think sometimes needs a little bit bigger one. So I'm just going to line it up at the top of the card. I'm not going to measure from what I tore. I'm going to measure from the card. And make it there and there. And I'm going to draw the line first. And if I don't like it, I can erase it. Yeah, I like that just fine. So I'm going to just cut it with the scissors. And then, now this is much thinner down here. It didn't have that piece of cardboard in it. And I think I'm going to use the number 7 here. It's barely getting it, but it is getting it a little bit. No, I might have been better off to leave that part straight. Okay, there we go. Alright, now, let's see. Let's give it just a little bit of ink. I don't want it too heavy because I like the lightness of this. So I'm just barely going to give it a little bit of something here. No, I don't really like that. The one good thing about some, not all, but some gift bags and paper like this, it'll have a coating on it, and if you kind of mismark a little bit, you can sort of rub it out to some extent anyway. Okay. Now let me just do a little bit around the back. Yeah, this paper I put on the back, I found a big unopened sheaf of paper at a thrift store about 2 or 3 years ago. 500 sheets, and I think it was like $3. And it's 8.5 by 14. It's very thin. It has a little bit of a texture to it. And I love how it takes the ink, or the coffee dye rather, because it don't get super dark like some of the others. I'm going to go press this again with the iron, finish getting that glue pressed in there a little bit better, and then we'll do the other one real quick. Now, look at that, nice and flat. When I ironed it the first time, my iron wasn't hot enough yet. I had just turned it on. So, here's the first one, and let's take this and I'll need my fabric scissors for this part. Oops. Alrighty. Now, which way do I want to do this? I like the idea of tying it through more than I do the poking it through and pulling it through the little loop, because those sometimes work themselves loose. So we'll try this and see how we like it, and if we don't like it, we'll turn it around and do it the other way. What do you think? I think I'm going to try it the other way. I don't know that I like that. It looks like rabbit ears laying down on this one. On some it looks really good, like on the little shabby chic looking ones. It does look a lot better. It don't look as good on this one, so I'm going to do it the other way, and I believe I bring it back. I bring it through from the back. If I can get it to cooperate. Yeah. But now, this is quite a big piece of ribbon. Yeah, I like that much better. Just pull it up a little bit more. Make it tight without tearing it, if at all possible. And then maybe... Okay. Alright, that's tag number 1. Let's get to the next one. Now, what did I even do with it? Alright, so let me clear me a space. Get it over here, get my glue stick. Now that I sort of have my idea done, I should be able to hopefully do this one a little bit faster. Hopefully. So yeah. So my daughter and I have been she's been showing me all her new crochet stitches. I can't even talk today, and all the different stuff she's making. And I brought a little table in the house into the dining room today, and started repotting. What did I do with the glue? Some of my house plants, particularly my Hoyas. I had some that weren't doing so good, so I repotted them in a mixture of stuff that's better for them, and got a really nice surprise. Now my daughter also does houseplants, and she's made her a little side hustle, but right now she has her mother plants. She sold out completely back in the summer for what she had up for sale. So I was repotting one of the Hoyas, and I mean, I've had it for about 18 months. And when I potted it up the first time, I didn't really know anything about them, and I have one called Crimson Princess, I think is the name of it. And so let me move this away. So I potted it up and got it all going, and I thought, well, these leaves look different than the other leaves. And so when I took it out of the pot, it kind of broke apart into 3 individual plants. And each one of them had different leaves, and I was inexperienced enough when I bought it that I didn't really pay attention. But what was funny is, where I bought it, I did ask the guy, what kind of Hoya is this? And he's like, I don't know, it's just a Hoya. So between my daughter and I today, we deduced that I did actually have 3 different Hoyas in that one pot. And so I was tickled. Okay, I'm going to iron this, and then we're going to rip it apart. Alrighty. So this is Monday, night, about 9:30, 10 o'clock. And so I spent about 4 hours, let's say, about 4 hours today repotting plants. And I did get all the Hoyas done. That one gripped a little bit too close, but I can't do anything about it now. Let me do it this way. So I got all my Hoyas. Turned out I got 2 more than I thought I did. So that's always a good thing, right? And then, what else did I pot up? Or repot? Oh, I have 2 lipstick plants. I repotted those. They didn't do well for me. I bought one of them when I was in Indiana visiting her back in the spring, and it was nice and full, and we divided it, but I don't know, it didn't like, it likes it here, but it didn't like the trip back, you know, driving, so I really don't know what to do about that. What am I after here? This. So, but I did repot it and trim it back, and we'll just hope for the best, I suppose. So tomorrow I've got roughly 50 house plants, plus a ton of cuttings that I've taken that tomorrow I'm going to start getting incorporated back into the mother plants on some. And then some I'll be keeping to send to Rachel in Indiana when the weather gets warm enough for me to send them through the mail. That's what I usually do, is I keep mine trimmed, and then I send her the cuttings. But anyway, I've got several tomorrow that I've got to repot. So, there's one, there's the other, so let's see if I can get this thing all the way to the corner. Let's just rip a little bit of that back there. It just don't want to cooperate. Let me fold this up this way. Yep, there we go. And just put it back down. Yeah, this probably would have been better off not to have. Okay. Now, keep covering up my tools with paper and stuff. Stab it through there and give it some ink, just a little bit. But anyway, so tomorrow should be getting hopefully the rest of what I need to repotted. Got 3 plants right now that the roots are coming through the bottom of the pot. One of them extremely bad, like down and circled around and around and around outside the pot. So I definitely need to get that done. And so, alrighty. Now let's do the back side a little bit. I'm hurrying just a little bit more because my battery died and I had to switch it, and the one I switched it to barely has any life in it. So I've not speeded up the video, I'm just moving a little faster. Okay, I'm going to iron this and put the tie in, and we'll call it a day. Okay, let's get this over here. Now, if you ever receive a gift in a bag or in paper that has a nice, scene on it, or nice design, yeah, I would absolutely turn it into some kind of ephemera, whether it's tags or cards or, covers, whatever that they might be. Now, the rest of this bag that I took these, well, come on now, that I made these tags from, it will be incorporated somehow or other into the bigger project. I think I might have said that once already. Okay, let's, so, come on now. I'm going to have to do it from this side, I think. This ribbon is really big, and I don't want to rip that eyelet out, because it wouldn't take much to rip it out. Alright, so now we've got these two giant tags, and just going over this one more time. If I make the journal, the top of it here, the bottom of it here, and I could make it as this big, and I might end up actually doing that, not sure yet. But anyway, and then 5 3/4 inches wide. I'm thinking 5 1/2, but that's still plenty of room for that tag to go in. And even if I make the journal shorter, then that tag, the top of the tie, can come right out and it'll look just fine. And fill it in, make it like a one signature little journal. Fill it full of the ephemera from the parts out of this bag and the other one. And it'll just be a pretty little project that looks really good and cohesive. So, this is it for this this project, but it opens up the door for so many more that you could make from bags, wrapping paper, etc. For example, hopefully the camera don't run off. This was another bag that I found in this bag of bags and paper. Look how big that thing is. I mean, I know you can't see the whole thing. And it's, this is old. And I want to make something out of this so bad, but I don't know quite yet what. So yeah, that's for another time, but I just love the flowers. Alrighty. So, thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you in another video very soon.